Hey, good morning. This is Ken. As promised, I'm going to give you a little update today on the van and where we're at the moment. It's Monday, beautiful day, finally. Uh, I'm off today. I took a 3-day weekend this weekend. Next weekend's Memorial Day weekend, and it's obviously a 3-day weekend there. And as I said in a previous video, trying to get a substantial completion so that the van's at least usable by the beginning of June. And not to say that we still won't have work to do, but that we could at least use it in June and have something put together at that point. So we're getting there. Feeling a little beat this morning. It's been a tough weekend working. The weather has just not cooperated. It rained all day Saturday. It looked like yesterday on Sunday was going to be a sunny day. It started out sunny, very humid, and then it rained, and then it stopped later in the day, but it was just muddy. So normally we park the van down in the yard and make it a little easier to go back and forth to tools and materials, but we have to have it parked up in the driveway today or all weekend, so because the yard was just too muddy. So I'm feeling a little beat today just because it's been a lot of walking back and forth. We've actually worn a trail in the grass. I'm going to get some grass seed for that. But we did get some progress done, and let me go over what that progress is with you. So as we said last weekend, coming into this weekend, we wanted to start permanently installing some things. So one of the things we started doing is we've mounted the stud work up so that we can, I have one up top, I have one down below, and same thing over here, one down below and one up top. I used a combination of the pre-drilled holes that came with the van, and these screws are from the rib nuts. What we'll do, and this gives us a twofer, if you will. This is where we'll mount the cabinets up here. So this gives me a nice ridge that I can support the weight of the cabinets and then have them kind of come down, mount into the board here. But the double whammy for this is it gives me a way to hide this to hide the wiring harness from the original from the manufacturer. I can kind of hide it behind here, so this comes out thick enough it won't really eat into our space, and I'll use these rib nuts just to tack the cabinets up here. But this will take a lot of the downforce of that. The one down below, that is simply to, the floor will take the down pressure of any cabinets I'm putting in. So that's just simply going to be a backer board to kind of keep the cabinets from coming out. That'll keep them in place. I'll probably put a stud down here. Haven't done that yet. And on this side, we've done the same thing here. We'll mount some cabinets. We'll probably have cabinets that will probably eke into this opening slightly. We'll see. But same theory here. And they'll take the weight of the cabinets, and that will hold the cabinet in. You can see the paint down the tape down there where we'll kind of have cabinets come out. Let's see. We also mounted in the permanently, they're glued and screwed at this point, the 2x4 braces for either side of the second floor that's going to go in, which will come right to this edge and then go across. So those are now in. I didn't put the center floor in, and the center support walls in. I won't yet until I get the electrical actually wired in. I did install the backer board and the fuse block and so forth, so I can now start wiring in and labeling all the electrical work. Little side note, my wife started making curtains, insulated curtains for the van, and she made them kind of colorful. So basically these are a layer of Reflectix, a layer of Thinsulate, and some colorful fabric, and she's just got things velcroed on. So they stick really nice in the van, actually. The thing we're kind of jazzed about is the tongue and groove. The cedar tongue and groove is going up. This piece we're going to pull down we had about a month ago, I think I put it in a video, there was a little flood in the basement and some of the wood got wet. This was one of the ones she tried to salvage, but it's a totally different color than the rest of them. So I'm going to be pulling him down and going across. These are the holes I mounted in for the puck lights for the rear LEDs. This was a 2 3/8 hole saw, and this will be my 12-volt wires that'll go up in here. I'll connect the two lights in parallel, connect them up to the power here, run it down along the side, and I'll use all my positive wires. I'll make the break in those to put my switches in for all of the lights and dimmers. So that'll be taken care of. One of the things that worked out here in the back is I disconnected enough this wiring harness so I can run it above all of the tongue and groove here. So I will mount something here to just kind of hold the tongue and groove in place. You see it just kind of runs to the edge here. I think I might have gotten a little, I'm hoping that doesn't end up squeaking, but yesterday was a pretty humid day. So my thought is, yesterday these boards were about as big as they're, swelled with moisture and big as they were going to get, and they started to get a little difficult to put together. If you look at the ends of them, they're really thin in order to save weight, and on these pieces here I'm probably just going to tack in, like when I run the second half up that way, what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to run a piece of trim along here just over the top of this to hold these ends in, because they're so thin that if I really try to screw them in, they're basically they're splitting. So I'll use a piece of trim to hold these in. Let's see, work today, we're going to continue with the getting things mounted in here. One of the things I do want to work on today is out here at the side. I do want to put the factory step back in here, and then I'm going to cut this corner off of this floor and then put a little framing in here to support the corner of this. But I want to get the factory skid plate back in here, the step back here in here, because that metal is, I almost took a header out there the other day when that got wet. So I want to make sure that we get some good grip, and I did that on the back here, and you can see once I put that back on here, that really gives a good grip on there. So that's kind of where we're at today. Again, it's Monday. I guess I'll check back in when we get some more work done. One of the things I did forget to mention is, and I mentioned it in a previous video, a lot of the internal parts for this we do have already pre-made. In fact, the 2x4s and the cuts for all those were already pre-done. So when we installed them this weekend, they were already ready to go. I have them all labeled and where they have to go in. So the benches are already built. My wife over the weekend, she spent the weekend sanding and painting them, and we put some trim on them, so they're pretty much ready to be installed as well. We continue to make stuff inside. I'm going to try to finish putting the ceiling up today. So anyway, I think that's all the updates I have for today. It's Monday the 21st. We're trying to shoot for get a substantial completion that we can start using this van in June. Beginning of June preferably, and we're going to be cutting it close, but I think, we'll see. We have a 3-day weekend next weekend, but it is Memorial Day weekend, so with picnics and so forth going on, we'll see where we get with that. And I'm going to take advantage of the good weather today. I was supposed to get the windows tinted today on the side and the rear, but I guess I should have thought that one through, and I need an appointment for that. I couldn't just waltz in and get that done. No harm, no foul. We do have the curtains now with the Reflectix that Beth made, and I can easily just make an appointment and do that another day. That's not going to slow anything down. And honestly, that just means I get more work done today. So I don't have to sit and wait for the windows to get done. That's about an hour and a half long process. They said I can wait while that happens. So today I'm just going to continue on with the ceiling and do this side piece here and start making the drawings for the cabinets that have to go up and get them built. The only thing I haven't decided yet is with the cabinets, will I make them all out of plywood like a regular kitchen cabinet, or will I frame them out with some kind of 2x3, 2x2, whatever the wood we decide to use, and then cover that in plywood. I have a feeling we're going to end up using plywood. I feel better if we use solid plywood. I think it would be easier for making the drawers and so forth. So that's where we're at today. Until next time, this is Ken. Like the video, comment on the video. If you like the content we're putting out, consider subscribing to the channel. Share the video if you could. Until next time, peace. We'll see you.